Peace, peace, my people. Our people are in need of education, and I'm here to bring you some. Here's the news you won't see or hear on any of the other channels, the mass media channels. Here's the news you won't hear or see on NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, and even some of the other BBC, international, European news media sources. This is Siri-lily, Siri dash Lily space Shilo. I need you guys, I want you guys to subscribe to this page. I'm trying to get to a five. I'm not trying, I'm going to. I'm getting to 1,000 so that I can start to go live with you folks. Um, so that I can bring you little short snippets every now and then. And once I get those 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to see you guys more often. It's just easier to go live. So I'm going to start off, as I said before. They are the social media platforms are, especially YouTube, are preventing us from sharing music that's on YouTube. You can't put it in your video because it's copyright infringement. Even though the copyright infringement, I'm sure that YouTube doesn't have permission to share these people's videos. They don't have copyright, but you do. But we don't. Yeah, they don't, but we don't. And so they can share it, but we can't. So here we go, guys. Here's some, I believe, uncopyrighted music. I want to shout out to Easy Stacks. Check her out on Instagram, EAZYSTACKX. Also, she probably is on YouTube, so I'm going to go look her up there and subscribe. But this young Texas goddess is powerful. It's probably music that you won't hear on mainstream radio either, because she's talking about stuff. This particular song is one of her favorites, and I like it because it reaches the soul. And then we're going to move on to some information that you didn't know. All right, here we go. I used to cry a lot, but I was crying no more. All that hurt since I let it go, cause the past year was a bad year. To be honest, man, fuck last year. I can think straight, write my feelings in a mixtape. Put all my time up into a bitch when I need to make sure my mama's straight. On my brother good and my grandma left in the worst way. Right before a nigga birthday, I said I'd never leave her, and I left her here. While my aunties on some petty shit, it don't feel right, just I feel numb. Probably drink just to feel something, or I probably smoke just to fucking cope from all this shit make me feel dumb. She my first choice from another nigga. He ain't even make a quarter appearance. He ain't even give 250 to my mom and them for a public defender and Jeffrey just like my big brother. But people don't know that my cousin. I seen him get shot in the head. I thought he was dead. Just know that I know him. I know that he hurting inside. Only I know the pain that he holds. All the breakdowns, all the fakes run on 10 toes. We ain't never was close. So fuck them the bitches ain't living in life. Maybe it's wrong, but we living it right. I know that we fucked up and using my luck and my pillows. They fucked up, ain't sleeping at night. My mama been favorite. Yeah, easy stacks, y'all. Easy stacks. The girl is cold. I really love it. Thank you, Lady of Rage, for shouting her out on your page, and I was able to get in touch with and send her vibe out to the tribe. Here we go, y'all. We have news. I have news you can use. There was an old news station here that, or somewhere they say news you can use. I think they're still doing it, but I don't watch the news anymore because all they do is lie, lie, lie like dead dogs. And anybody who is listening to the news, well, I guess at least you know what they're lying about. But please don't allow that stuff to get you all up in your feelings, because how they control us is getting us in our feelings. Yeah. Here we go. I would love for you people to take a listen. Now, there's a blockade against the country of Cuba. So much has happened over the many decades. And there's a blockade against Cuba. And I think the thing that Black America, of all people, need to take a lesson, seriously take a lesson from, is the goodness versus evil that occurs, and ask yourself, why are you subscribing to it? Why are you falling for it? Just listen to this stuff. This is crazy. This is stuff you're not going to hear or see on um, mainstream media. So check this out, y'all. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Medicine shortages and record COVID-19 infections. President Miguel Diaz-Canel said that U.S. economic sanctions were stoking the unrest.
These are the images Cuba's state TV broadcast of Sunday's mass protest. The country is going through its worst economic crisis in decades. Thousands took to the streets of Havana and elsewhere to protest food and medicine shortages. Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel said it was the work of troublemakers. Yesterday, they threw stones at police forces, turned over cars, a totally vulgar, indecent and delinquent behavior. They've gotten the response they deserved. The protests and their scope are almost unprecedented in the history of the communist country.
Except for 60 years ago, when Cuba was in an all-out war against factions of people who had come into that country attempting to bring capitalism. And they flat out said, heck no, we won't go. We don't want your capitalistic type behavior. We don't want that. Cuba is, unbeknownst to many Black Americans of recent times, one of the most benevolent countries you will ever know. I'm not saying that these people are perfect. I am saying that, oh, I love it. Look at that. I stopped at 111 in this video, and that was not intentional. But when the ancestors, when the source shows up, when the truth is involved, you will always be notified, and vice versa. When evil is present, you will be notified. It's just up to you to pay attention. Now, because as I've always said, predator prey is a law that is acceptable in universal law. It's allowed. So you better figure out whether you're a predator or whether you're a prey. And then once you figure it out, do what you do. Serve your role, because you're going to be one or the other, especially in the environment we live in today. Now, I'm going to stop this video here because I want to go over to another video that absolutely tells the truth. This is the brother Fidel Castro, and I want to say this out loud. I love Fidel Castro. I absolutely love this man. I include him in my libations from this day forward. The things he said in this video are mind-blowing, and you would not know any of it by listening to ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and BBC. This is C-SPAN. And C-SPAN just simply is there, shows up. They don't have any commentary. They don't sway your opinion. It is simply there to tell you what happened. And if you look up Gaddafi on C-SPAN, look up Gaddafi on C-SPAN when he went, the last time he went to the UN and talked to them wicked people who were sitting there turning their heads because they were suckling off the teat of the US fiat. They were getting rich, so forget human rights, right? Yeah, listen up, y'all.
I don't know where she get the data, but I said I have seen thousands of people saying hello. I have seen many people waving hands at me. I've seen changes in the way people look at us. Remember that in those days when I came here first, those were the days of the Cold War. The revolution was practically a newborn. That was in the year 1960. And then they made life
around the same time that Cuba. This is when Cuba first kicked these people, these marauders out of their country, and were they called this man a dictator because they didn't want the U.S. there. And since then, there have been blockades against Cuba. ever since then. Now, there's no blockades against every other country that the United States have ever been in war with, except for maybe Iran, but they don't need them. One of the things that I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. Just listen, y'all. I'm gonna send this as a long video, and we're only in the 21st minute of it. So be, mindful with me. Just bear with me as I skip through, because there's a lot of stuff that y'all need to hear, not from my mouth, but directly from the mouth of the man.
Very difficult for me in that hotel when I was staying. I still had somewhat the mentality of guerrilla. So I said, I'm going to set up a tent in the patio of the UN. I'm going to set up my tent there. And then it was that we had the contract with the Teresa Hotel. I said, there is something more strategic than that. I'm going to stay at Teresa Hotel. I knew that here I would have the heart of the neighbors of Arlen.
You don't want to stay with them. You'd rather be at the Teresa Hotel.
Injustice was obvious. Discrimination was obvious to me. And as a revolutionary, I knew that I would be welcome in this neighborhood. I remember what Lincoln said. You can deceive all the people part of the time. Part of the people part of the time. But not all the people all the time.
Pero ustedes fueron la parte de la gente.
But you were the part of the people
A quienes nunca pudieron.
who were never deceived.
There was a time when Black America was truly conscious and conscientious of what was going on in the world. And today, it seems that doesn't exist. When people begin to discuss this type of information and become conscientious of what's happening in the world around them, they're ostracized, they're criticized, they're ridiculed for being awake, the woke. You got Black folk in Congress ridiculing us for being aware of what's happening in the world. So we shy from that because we're so trained to fit in socially. So you watch your babies die as you assimilate socially. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I mean, please, somebody tell me I'm wrong. Prove that I'm wrong.
Rosemary here said all the personalities that came to visit me at Teresa Hotel. International leaders who in solidarity with me. Even Khrushchev came. Yes, Khrushchev was one of the first leaders who came to visit me. And he was the leader of a superpower. I appreciated that gesture that he had. Khrushchev was a peasant. He was a very shrewd peasant. Very funny guy. And he did not dismantle his country, by the way.
See, Reagan would have had you believe that Khrushchev dismantled the country. Yeah, y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. The lies.
He became a leader, but after that, many of the leaders came to visit. Nehru, one of the great leaders historical leaders, one of the great politicians. And Nasser. And Nkrumah. Many.
All these people that the U.S. has told you were dictators and horrible people and that they went over and murdered. The lies. The same people that's telling you to go get this COVID shot they have. And I'm going to say this about Cuba. The blockade is preventing them from getting food and medicine. Cuba went all over the world and distributed their vaccine for this COVID virus to other countries for free. And now they're hurting and they need money. They need help. And so the moment they began to set up, I guess, agreements with other countries to provide the vaccine that they have come up with, who also, by the way, Cuba has a vaccine or a cure for lung cancer. That's right. Now, remember, I told you everything I say on my video, you can look it up. There are receipts, baby. So you can be mad at me for saying what I say, but it's just the truth. The truth resonates and it hurts. But so does childbirth, bitches.
Many great leaders came to visit me at the Teresa Hotel. They rejected that gross maneuver of hostility against our country. It did not pay off for anyone. Actually, it offered me an unforgettable memory and a reason for feeling eternal gratitude for the American people, because I could see in you the best representative of the virtues of the American people. And you know how long ago that was? 35 years ago. So this is the 35th anniversary of my visit, my first visit to this neighborhood. Now the incredible thing is that I'm still expelled. I'm still being left out of the dinners and the receptions and the banquets.
I think they're scared.
All these years.
I think they're scared. I think the United States is terrified of Cuba because while Fidel was there, you could not take the hearts and minds of the Cuban people. You had certain Cuban people who were conservatives and others who were more liberal. The conservatives didn't care about human rights. All they cared about was being able to make some money. The love of money. Yeah. That's all they cared about. So for that reason, I think that's why the United States is terrified of Cuba. They would have to massacre everybody on the whole dadgum island in order to take over. But they can't massacre the people because if they massacre them all, they won't have any slaves. They take your mind first and the body follows.
As if we were still in the days of the Cold War. It's cold inside, but it's not a Cold War.
No, calor humano.
There is human warmth, but the weather is somewhat cold. It seems to me that the church does not have funds for the heat. It's really incredible that history is repeating itself that way. Now, I would have to ask myself another question. Why is it that you're receiving us here with such great respect? And there must be a reason for that.
Tiene que tener respuesta. Que si otros no han cambiado, nosotros tampoco.
Because if others have not changed in their hostile positions, we have not changed either.
Y otros cambiarán
Others might change
porque no tienen la razón.
because they do not have the reason.
Y nosotros no cambiaremos.
They are not right, but we will never change
Porque tenemos
because we are right.
Y la mejor prueba,
And the best evidence,
la mejor prueba
the best evidence
son
is your presence here
y el calor y el
and the
cariño
warmth
con que
and
nos
the
han
love
recibido.
with which you have received me here tonight.
Interestingly enough, it's Black folk that's filling this church in Harlem. It's Black. If you go watch this video, man. This is an amazing video. I want to bring you some more stuff, some more content. But it's like I can't let go of this video because I need to understand why I love this man. I'm gonna shut up.
En el día de hoy. Y pienso que nuestro pueblo
And I think that our people
ha cumplido sus deberes.
has discharged
morales,
its moral duties.
ha cumplido con sus
It has
principios,
discharged it has observed its ideals, its principles,
con la solidaridad.
and we have been in solidarity.
La compañera Rosamari hablaba
Comrade
Creo que
Rosemary
fue ella.
here
sobre algunos de los esfuerzos
spoke
de
about some of the
solidaridad
efforts
internacional que ha hecho.
of international solidarity that Cuba has made.
Habló de médicos,
She spoke about our doctors.
más de 15,000 médicos cubanos
Over 15,000 Cuban
han
doctors
prestado servicios
have,
internacionalistas en
worked
otros países.
as internationalist missionaries in other countries.
Bet y'all didn't know that.
Millones y decenas de millones de
Millions
personas
and tens
han sido
of millions
atendidas
of
por nuestro
people
pueblo.
have been taken care of by our doctors.
En África,
In Africa mainly,
en América Latina,
in Latin America also, and in other parts of the world.
cientos de miles de
Hundreds
vidas
of thousands of lives
se han salvado
have been
por el
saved
esfuerzo de sus médicos.
by our doctors' work.
Miles y miles
Thousands and
de
thousands
profesores y maestros
of
han
Cuban
enseñado,
teachers and professors
técnicos en
have
todas
trained
las
technicians.
áreas, en todas las ramas.
Also, our technicians in many fields have gone to other countries to
Cuba
work.
se quedó con 3,000 médicos
Cuba was left with only 3,000
de los
doctors
6,000 que tenía
out of the 6,000 it had in 1959.
y nos llevaron 3,000
3,000 left.
mejores salarios.
They were incited by best salaries here in the United States.
Sin embargo, hoy tenemos
However,
casi 60,000.
nowadays we have 60,000.
Y si un día los norteamericanos
And if one day the
necesitan,
Americans were to need doctors,
yo sé que tienen mucho,
I can tell you that we can give you.
mucho y muy bueno.
Black America, Cuba got doctors that are better than the doctors in the United States. Not that they're better people, some of them are, but they're better trained. They're trained in truth, not in pharmaceutical capitalist endeavors.
We have many.
Pero si en algún
Good
lugar, en
doctors.
algún rincón,
We
en
know that you
algún
have
barrio,
them, but if
no
in
hay
any
un médico,
neighborhood you don't have a doctor,
nuestros médicos
our
vendrían
doctors
gustosos a
would
trabajar
come
también.
to work here.
Since they won't let Cuba come to us, how about we put together 100 grand, Black America, and send for some Cuban doctors to come over here and bring that vaccine? I want the Cuban vaccine. I want the interferon. That's what I want. Does my voice count for anything? Research interferon and the Cuban vaccine. Research it. And then swell your nuts large enough to come up off some money. Some of my folk got $100,000 that's spare as throwaway change right now. But you're too stupid to do the research, or it's being kept from you. And I say stupid because if you've heard this information before and refused to research it, that's not ignorance. Ignorance is the lack of knowledge. You had no idea. You got $100 million in the bank and didn't know it. That's ignorance. Stupidity is having $100 million in the bank and saying, I'm not going to go check that bank account. I don't believe it. That's stupid. Did I lie? There was a time when my people were aware of world affairs. Now only the woke are aware of world affairs. But you can't talk about world affairs, or you're targeted by the United States government, especially
Just
if
to
you're
mention
black.
another case in which solidarity was present,
Los nicaragüenses necesitaron médicos.
the Nicaraguans needed doctors.
Ustedes saben que en aquella época de otras partes no le mandaron médicos.
You know that at that time, doctors were not sent from other
Enviaron
parts of the world.
cañones, ametralladoras,
Others sent
helicópteros,
cannons,
bombardeadores,
machine guns,
bombarderos,
bombers,
municiones de
and
todas
ammunitions of all kinds.
clases.
Red
Y
Cross
de otras
too,
partes
for religion
enviaban
So
and
when
disease.
others
hombres
Never
We're sending-
doctors.
que conducían a la tragedia, a la muerte.
were sending people
2000
to carry
maestros,
tragedy and death, 2,000 Cuban teachers
en su mayoría
went
mujeres.
there, most of them women.
The women left and went to other countries.
Se fueron a enseñar a Nicaragua.
Y'all love Gaddafi, but you know what? Fidel went, excuse me, Fidel went above and beyond. Yeah. Gaddafi said, come on over here, I train y'all. Doctors, everything. Give you land, everything you need. Just come. People loved him. This man said, we'll come to you. Ooh, there are some beautiful things that happen in the world. And what I know is that if anyone who hates something so beautiful, you're the problem. Why are you sanctioning United States? Why are you sanctioning Cuba right now? What have they done to you?
They went to Nicaragua to teach
Pero no
the
a
Nicaraguans
Managua,
how to read and write.
a las ciudades,
But they did not go to Managua, not to the capital. They went to the mountains.
a las selvas,
They went to the places where there were no teachers.
a los lugares más apartados.
They went to the most remote places.
Cuando pedimos voluntarios para
And
aquella
when we
misión,
asked for teachers to volunteer in Cuba to go to Nicaragua,
se ofrecieron 30,000.
30,000 volunteered.
30,000 people. You see, when I said a while ago that the reason that America's so pissed off at Cuba is probably because they can't steal the hearts and minds of the people. When 30,000 people volunteer, 2,000 women volunteer to go teach, 30,000 people volunteer to go do something out of their country, out of their safety zone, willing to risk their lives in wartime. Jump off the soapbox, Lily.
Vea, hermano Bot, qué sentimiento de
Look, Brother Butts, what a sentiment of solidarity our people has. So that has been growing in our people.
Cuando algunos
And
contrarrevolucionarios
when some counter-revolutionaries, some gangs,
asesinaron
Nicaragua,
a algunos maestros,
some Contras killed some Cuban teachers,
se ofrecieron 100.
100,000 Cuban teachers volunteered to take their places.
100,000 more. Now that's heart. That's something to be proud of. I'll pour your name in libations to them.
Those have been the moral values that we have been creating with the changes in our country. And I'm going to mention another example. When there was a big earthquake in Peru, which killed 100,000 people, which killed 70,000 people, we asked for blood donations from our people. And in 10 days, we received from our people 100,000 blood donations to give them to Peru. When there was an earthquake in Armenia, 50,000 blood donations were given by our people for them. When there was an earthquake in Iran and thousands of people died, we also collected thousands of donations. And wherever there has been a tragedy, a hurricane, an earthquake, our technicians, our doctors, our people have made their contribution.
I'm stopping this video right now because I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to do a part 2 of this video. I'm going to have to let you listen to the rest of this video. And you need to understand one thing. When Katrina happened, Cuba offered to send doctors, medicine, all types of help, all kinds of beautiful help, as did Iran, Mexico, many, many others. And the United States refused it. And your politicians were aware of it. Here is why I don't vote. Our politicians have not been on our side. They're bought and paid for. They're not allowed to be in the political system unless they are purchasable. Many have run for office, and few have even been publicized. Let's just put it like that. Grandmaster J, John Fitzgerald Johnson, is one of them. And there was a sister who also ran, beautiful sister, who also ran for office. And she's aware, very aware of the situation. I'm not going to go any further. What I will say is that Black America, you not only choose this, but you create it. Peace, overstanding, power.
Last year, I can think straight. Put all my feelings in a mixtape. Put all my time up into a bitch when I need to make sure my mama's straight. All my brother good and my grandma left in the worst way. Right before a nigga birthday, I said I'd never leave her, and I left her here with my aunties on some petty shit. It don't feel right, should I feel numb? Probably drink just to feel something, or I probably smoke just to fucking cope from all this shit make me feel dumb. She my first choice from another nigga. He ain't even make a court appearance. He ain't even give 250 to my mama and them for a public defender in Jefferson just like my big brother. But people don't know that my cousin. I seen him get shot in the head. I thought he was dead. Just know that I love him. I know that he hurting inside. Only I know the pain that he hold. All the breakdowns, all the fakes round 10 toes. We ain't never was wrong. So for them little bitches ain't living in life. Maybe it's wrong, but we living it right. I know that we fucked up and using my luck and my pillows. Stay fucked up, ain't sleeping at night. My mama been fake. I used to cry a lot, but I don't cry no more. All that hurt since I let it go, cause the past year was a bad year. To be honest, man, fuck last year. I can think straight. Put all my feelings in a mixtape. Put all my time up into a bitch when I need to make sure my mama's straight. All my brother good and my grandma left in the worst way. Right,
you created this Black America. Only you can stop it. It's called unity. You better come together.
To help, regardless of ideologies,